Y'all, I'm on one today. I put this dress on and I was transported. Today is going to be an urgent reviews video. I've never done something like this before, like called it that, but the reactions that I got, the feedback that I got when I posted my prompt for my this or that for the Sephora sale made me realize that there are a handful of products that y'all want reviews on right freaking now. That it's important that I get this out kind of before everything else. So I have a box of those things, and we're going to be headed towards this fantasy that I have in my head right now that is Palm Springs 1960, okay? Like, we've got the Carolina K caftan, we've got the whole like kind of like new age vibe going, and I haven't decided where I want to go on my eyes yet, and it might not be in a Sephora direction at all. It might be the Victoria Beckham sunflower eyeshadow. We're just gonna have to find out, but I mean, I've got Cloud Gazer going from the new Savant. Last night I was burning Summer Splendor. It's a whole mood, and then I also have some perfume today that I'm going to include that you're just gonna have to use your imagination, but I will try and explain it. Bring it to your olfactory senses the best that I can. And it's Sundazed from Byredo. It's like this sweet, sugary, citrusy, summertime gorgeousness. So, without further ado, y'all, let's just get into the fantasy. Let's go. So, y'all might have seen on my Instagram, I'm gonna try and like do this in a way that my hair kind of stays pleasantly curled because I don't want the headband to really be like completely part of the look. Anyway, if y'all watched my Instagram stories yesterday, hey Kackie, if you want to follow me on Instagram, this skipped the line. This is the new Givenchy Prism Libre Skin Caring Concealer. It's so important. It's so pretty and creamy and gorgeous, and it's in this like massive tube because I think it's kind of supposed to be like a found sealer. You know, you use it where you need it and you just kind of blend it out elsewhere, and it just gives perfection where you put it. It builds beautifully, and I have the shade N95 and the shade match is immaculate. So I'm actually going to start with some golden primer from VB because I'm just feeling the Palm Springs fantasy right now. So I'm just gonna put that kind of not so much everywhere, but like in the sunny spots on my face. Oh yeah, actually, this was a dumb thing to do because the first thing that I wanted to do, and I usually do this off camera and that's why I forgot, but I want to put on sunscreen with y'all. So this was one of the first products that y'all basically communicated to me, like, we need a review on this immediately. It cannot wait, and that is the new Kosas DreamBeam. I will say the first couple of times that I wore this, I had to be really careful putting it around my eyes. I mean, that's not super uncommon that your eyes would really hate a sunscreen, you know? But I did end up having to like flush my eyes the first time because I just got it too close for comfort. So just bear that in mind, but like in my this or that video, which I think this is gonna come out before that. I filmed that like before this obviously, but like I think that this is more urgent. Someone asked the difference between this and the glow screen from Supergoop, and I have to say, I do prefer it to the glow screen. It's just a more, I mean, granted you've got the golden primer from VB in there now too, but it's just a more subtle glow because Kosas did put out that like full on glow serum. If you want glow, like you can kind of split the difference, right? But I think that it's better to have like your SPF not commit you so aggressively to the glow. And I just think that that's really pretty. It gets my full endorsement. Just be really, really careful about getting it close to your eyes. Okay. So I skipped ahead talking about the Prism Libre here, but this is about to get really cute really fast. So I finally started my period, which makes some sense as far as like what my complexion is doing right now. And I'm also using the Dennis Gross peel pads, the extra strength peel pads, like every single night right now. So even though it doesn't look like it, this is improving. It's just purging and peeling. So I'm psyched about it, but it looks pretty wild, like in real time. So I'm gonna grab my seamless foundation brush from Beauty Pie. By the way, Beauty Pie did like they did kind of I think an internal restructuring of some persuasion, or like, you know, they're sort of like resorting their resources and things like that as far as their offering. And so I got an email from them recently and they were like, hey, we're ready to like pick up contact again, because I think that they kind of like took a break from like influencer relations, and everybody's been asking about like what's new at Beauty Pie, and I'm just like, I don't know. I haven't talked to them in so long because I was in such close communication with them for so long. They're such great people. And so yeah, I'm like really psyched to get back into Beauty Pie. Okay, so like I said, I have N95. and it is such a gorgeous, flawless match for me. It is somewhere in between like Kosas and Shape Tape, right? And the thing that reminds me of, I guess, the Shape Tape about it is that when you use this, it grips. Like when you're blending it out with the brush, you feel it kind of grip. So it's like I kind of only want to do it in small areas at a time because you feel it start to like lock while you're blending it, which is just phenomenal. It's just a really good feeling. And then once you get that first layer down and it blends out and like you don't have to put it everywhere, you know? After you get that first layer down, if you think that you don't have enough opacity, it will build so seamlessly, so beautifully. My skin just, look at that. Look at it. It's so beautiful. And I sent a video to Tom yesterday after I had worn it for pretty much the whole day. And I said, look, underneath my eyes has been an area of concern recently because, you know, as I'm aging, this is like the area that starts to show the fine lines, right? And you see that like when you bend your face, like the places where you bend your face, like that's where you're gonna end up with like your makeup maybe creasing or breaking up or whatever. This has some kind of elasticity to it. It is like I think it's like a 24-hour long wear or something. The elasticity is unbelievable. The way that it bounces back is awesome. Like end of the day, I look and like I can look right there where my eyes bend, but the concealer doesn't crease. And Tom is the proud owner of only one concealer, and they were like, all right, add to cart. And then they were like, but this is the last one, Kackie. And I was like, I'm sorry. It is my superpower. I try so much makeup, and when I find something that is really, really excellent, I'm so emphatic about it. And this is just really, really excellent. So you can see that first layer goes on, and it's not like rose ink concealer. You know, it's not gonna go on so wildly pigmented that you're like, what am I supposed to do with all this product? Oh, it's so pretty. It's freaking gorgeous. Look at it. Like my skin is not happy right now. But that's just the first layer, and then you can take more and build it, and it grips onto itself. Y'all, the nose breakouts, absolutely wild. So yeah, if you're the kind of person who's having trouble getting your makeup to like grip on your face, because I know that that's an issue with a lot of people, like your makeup doesn't like stick to your nose, for example. This is a gripping concealer. It's a really, really cool feeling. And it stays really hydrated looking. That thing hurts. I hate it. I need to like spend an hour just dosing myself with the Light Stem for Acne. I did do my new face this morning though, and I feel like I can tell the difference. Ugh. And the self-setting of it, like the actual finish of it when it dries down on its own, is so pleasant and healthy looking. Yeah, it was just such an immediate win. I'm grabbing a smaller brush to get in there. So the next thing that we are going to be reviewing here, and we're gonna kind of deep dive on and do some swatching, are those new Pat McGrath bronzers, because that was another thing that was just like an urgent get the information to the people kind of thing. But look at that, we've kind of ended up with this like reverse foundation situation where I kind of started out with a slightly deeper complexion all over because of that primer, and then just that concealer ends up pulling the light back out. Can't say enough about it. Cannot say enough about it. I want to do a little bit of powder before we just go straight in with the Pat McGrath. So on Rattly Natalie, go underneath my eyes a little. Just kind of set that a little so that we end up with like an even application of those powders, because the Pat McGrath powders are really, really finely milled. And it's not to say they're going to grab, but I would be afraid that it might hard pan if I picked up too much emollients on my brush. Oh yeah, and for all of its emollients and like gorgeous kind of like hydrated looking texture, the Givenchy holds powder beautifully because it's like self-setting. So I have here Naked Desire and Nude Honey. I wish that they were numbered because I don't actually know which one is supposed to be lighter and which one is supposed to be deeper. I think, darn it, I don't know. It's so hard to remember even the names of them. Nude Honey and Naked Desire are like very similar names, or just maybe nondescript. Nude Honey, Naked Desire. So they have the same beautiful texture as the original Divine blushes. And I actually did end up getting Divine Rose 3, which is this gorgeous kind of like, you know, neutral rosy pink. I'll just put that at the top. But it's super, super sheer, and it is quite pink compared to the other Divine Roses that do go a little bit mauve. And it hasn't been my favorite. It's a little on the nose, you know, because everything goes pink on me, and so even the little bit of peach that's in it doesn't really do enough, you know? And so it needs to kind of pick a lane for me. It needs to go either a little bit warm, like a little bit peach, or a little bit cool in the like actual, you know, earlier Divine Rose territory. This is just so on the nose, pink, that it just feels kind of on the nose for me. I might get used to it. We'll see. I do have another blush to try today, so maybe we'll use that and this. We'll see. I need to tell y'all, like, my skin is not in good shape, okay? And the fact that it looks as good as it does right now is pretty remarkable. Naked Desire is the lighter one, and then Nude Honey is slightly deeper. And I still don't really know which one works better for me, but I think it's the lightest one. So that's probably the one that I'm gonna use today. Let's go ahead and swatch this against my other faves. So we've got the Gucci bronzer, which is, it has the accolade of being the rosiest, right? So there's that, so pretty. Then we have the Makeup by Mario in light, which we'll just go ahead and do the powder one. They're all about the same color, all the light shade in Makeup by Mario, as you would expect. So that one's a little bit more similar to Nude Honey. Yep, I'm going to commit it to memory. We have Haus Labs in light level 1, which is actually a little bit closer to Naked Desire. And it does kind of get towards that like rosy tone, but it is a touch greener. And then we have like the Jones Road, right? This is Dusty Rose, which is, you know, practically a blush. And then we have the other one, which I prefer, and that is just Light Tan. So Light Tan is right there with Gucci-ish, right there with Nude Honey, and I guess kind of similar to the Haus Labs. But you really start to see like this color family. Oh, and you know what else I should swatch it against is Mo from Thrive. Apparently, I neglected to tell y'all that that was the name of the shade that I was using. Like on Instagram, I was like, this is so urgent, I need to get this to you. And I told you it was the lightest shade, but I didn't tell you the name of it. It's just called Mo. So there's Mo. Mo, see, okay, Mo and Naked Desire, extraordinarily similar, which explains a lot because Natalie of My Skintress, one of my favorite people to talk to, she was messaging me and she was like, I need you to go ahead and review the Pat McGrath bronzers because Naked Desire is important. And she also has Mo, and she also is like, this color hung the moon. She's very, very fair. So yeah, we're gonna go with Naked Desire, I think. That's the thing, is they're so beautiful and nuanced. It's kind of like when I first got the blushes where I could constantly justify just like opening up another one and starting to put that one on, you know? So here we go, Naked Desire, the lighter of them. So if you're unfamiliar with her original blush formula, the powder blushes, sheer, sheer, sheer. Just so blurring, so perfecting. They always leave this really beautiful, like buildable texture on the skin. And it's hard to justify stopping when you're putting them on because they just kind of keep getting better. I remember I went to my brother-in-law's wedding and I brought all 3 of the first ones that I bought from the original blush release, which I had bought 2 more of since then. And then I also bought the second blush release. Either way, I spent like, I don't know, a good 10-15 minutes in a fugue state just putting those blushes on. I was like, how long has it been that I've been applying these blushes? Because they're just so easy to get just, you know, lost in thought on because it all just kind of happens so slowly. Oh, I should swatch this against VB also. So there's Naked Desire again. This is the VB like regular lighter shade, the bronzer shade, and then this is the like contour shade of the VB. I know, they're very, very subtle. And then here is Nude Honey. Y'all, I mean, those, I dug deep on those. It's just those top 4. Ignore where I've wiped this off, but like, I mean, That VB one, the lightest one, is still the lightest thing that like I own. I still might use it underneath my eyes because it does such a good job of like, you know, blending that line of demarcation with my concealer and whatever else is on my cheeks. But that's a really, really good seamless blend, especially for people who like don't necessarily get super actually bronze. What you're looking for is just like a more natural looking flush. That's what's going on here. Now for the sake of science, I know a lot of people are like, well, can you just put Nude Honey on? Yes, I can. We can do that. So I'm gonna just do it kind of towards the back of my cheeks here. See, much different. Much different on the skin. Deeper, oranger, not bad. But I do think that that's a good distinct difference. It's just got a lot more depth to it, a lot more pigment. I don't hate it. I do not hate it. And I do hate to be the bearer of bad news, which is for the people who've been trying to decide between them in their cart, you might need both. Not need. We don't need anything, but I do like almost wish that they came in a duo because that would have been the most epic, right? To be able to just buy that. So you can see the nice blur, and that's on basically more or less like my skin because of the way that like we only used concealer up here. I haven't really put anything here, and then we just have a little bit of the primer. And I do think that I want to use whatever's just kind of left over on that brush, the Beauty Pie brush, and just blendy because like we don't have any actual complexion product right there, so it's looking a little bit patchy. Okay. I promise it'll come together, but it's like I'm doing things a little out of order. Very pretty, feeling very cute and tan, caftan if you will. While, like I said, I do have the Divine Rose blush, what I wanna use is this. So I did end up buying the Beach Please in Office Hours. These are the two mauve persuasions of the Tower 28 blush and bronzer. Blush and lip gloss. I'm not sure the lip gloss is gonna make it all the way into this look today. It might. I don't know, it's kind of such the same color as my actual lips. Maybe it will go with this look, we'll see. Okay, I'm going to dip my, which brush do I wanna use? Yes, the 112 from BK in here. And I'm just gonna give myself this nice kind of like dewy finish on my skin. I think that's the advantage of these is like even on top of a powder, you can get this like really nice skin finish. It's very much that like Patrick Ta tactic of very, you know, tenuously, gingerly, carefully applying a cream on top of powder, you get the skin texture back. Which can also be achieved with like a finishing spray or whatever, you know. You don't need to go buy a cream blush just to do that with. But we are kind of going for a shape of blush that's like, I've actually been out in the sun, you know? It is a little on the nose. I mean, it's mauve, you know what I mean? I kind of wish it was like a little less saturated than that. I was kind of hoping for it to be a little bit more nuanced, but they did just come out with like a lilac one, so, you know, maybe that one's the answer. There we go. Ooh, on the forehead, that really changed it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Gorgeous girls wear too much blush. So it is worth noting that the Kosas SPF is performing famously underneath my makeup. It's hydrating, but it's not slippy. It's not disturbing anything, and it adds just the right amount of glow and blur without just like completely overwhelming your face with radiance. It's not, or glow lust. No offense, Tom. It's not my vibe. I like a little more opacity. I like a little bit more light absorption than that, and I feel like it's just the right amount that you can kind of push or pull as you see fit. So there's that. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna use a little bit of the Victoria Beckham bronzer, like I said, underneath my eyes, and that's gonna help to just seal the seams. I was just watching Kelly's video where, I mean, honestly, you always have me at a thumbnail where you tell me everything goes wrong. Like, she's like, this is one of the worst looks I've ever done, and I hate it. And I'm just like, yes, I wanna watch that. So she was testing out the new e.l.f. by American Eagle collab. And at one point she said like, you know, I want to blur this like seam that we made. And then she goes, well, jeans pun. And I was like, Kelly's in her millennial bag right now. It just made me so happy. There we go. Oh, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? This stuff is special. I'm so sorry. Every time I like try and just focus on a Sephora based like look, I feel like I just cannot, especially as she's expanded her range, I cannot get out of my Victoria Beckham beauty era. Like everything that she does just like lives in my mind palace right there on my flash drive memory of just like, you know what, I want to use that thing from Victoria Beckham, which is like why I'm still thinking about the freaking sunflower eyeshadow. So I want to do some contour real quick because we haven't, and I need to do it in a powder form because we have a lot on right now. Using my Natasha Denona, I'm using the Sigma F40 because I don't know where my Angie Hot and Flashy Gray one went. I don't know. Boop, 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 boop. Similar shape, not quite as good, but similar. No offense, I think Sigma brushes are nice. I really like the BK ones are just my comfort zone in a lot of ways. Get that really into the hairline. Tell y'all what, I might be losing my hair because of stress and whatnot, but what's lost in actual volume, like of mass of hair, I am making up for in product. Okay, this is looking pretty excellent. Can we talk about this complexion product? I know because of all the natural light, like you're seeing, because we have a lot of natural light right now, you're seeing the true nuances of my skin texture, and I've also been going absolutely ham sandwich on the AHAs, and so everything's just kind of like building and purging and doing all of its nonsense, but still, it's like the consistency, the hydration, how happy my skin looks. I love it. Let's do some eyes here. The thing that I was going to share with y'all today is like the Kulfi eyeshadows because I think they're lovely. But like, I'm so into the idea of my vision of the VB right now that I'm like not sure that I can control myself. You know what I mean? Plus like, how many looks of this color have I done lately? It's so freaking pretty though. Let's see if I can do both. Cause that, ooh, bronze brocade. I mean, truth be told, it really does look like the brown from Orange Blossom, the Kaja Trio, and Hourglass, Scattered Light and Ray had a very, very pretty baby that like favored the right side of the gene pool. Not that there's a wrong side of the gene pool between those two, but it could have gone differently, you know? So here I have Sunflower. I have not even put this on my face yet. Okay, this would be a first impression for all of us on this particular color. Do you think we can do it? Because I know I'm gonna wanna build depth anyway, and we might as well do it in like rosy tones like that. So let's go. Let's freaking go. I'm gonna start with my Hindash color fluid in Canvas because I wanna get a nice even application of this and I want it to be very true to color. Oh, that's wild. When I touch the doe foot to it, I can feel, even though there's like creasing on my eyelid, I can feel the grip of that concealer on my skin. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's do this. And let's see how much yellow we actually end up maintaining on my eyes because there's a really good chance I just like covered up with other things. Oh my God, I'm breaking my own heart. Oh my God, that's a pretty color. What? VB, this is my 60s fantasy. It's so pretty. And I just watched Lauren May using the really, really fluorescent green Kulfi shadow, which I don't have, not yet anyway. And oh, the look she created, I think that it like just burrowed into my brain because it was very much that like 1960s, you know, with the wing and everything, and she just absolutely nailed it to the ground. You gotta go watch that video. It's a very, very good look that she creates. So what's great about these is that like, I know that I can get something out of it that like, even if I do change my mind, I can work on top of it. It's not like all or nothing, you know? I'm just following my heart right now. Okay, I'm gonna use one of Angie's beautiful brushes here. This is the E01. And just blur this a little so that we're not ending up with like something super, super like obvious if I don't get them perfectly symmetrical, you know? I mean, how underappreciated is yellow on brown eyes? Like, look at how that makes the colors in my eyes pop. But yellow is tough. It's tough to formulate, it's tough to wear. Okay, yeah, I'm softening that line. I did want to go for something that was like really, really like 60s and graphic, but I think that softening it is kind of the answer. On me especially. Lower the stakes a little bit. Okay, so it's messy, but it's yellow, so it's like it's not like wildly visible. And I'm gonna clean that up with just a touch of whatever's still left on my brush here. Because I still want this to be sexy, you know? I don't want it to be like cartoonish. That's so pretty. Dang. Okay. I do think that I need the Hindash palette. We're gonna go with Monochromance here. This is very intuitive for this look right now. And if y'all missed that video, I will go ahead and spoil it for you. My life was changed when I used Angie's Singe Beauty brushes with the Hindash palette because they behave like natural fiber brushes. They pick up so much product and they blend it so quickly. Now I don't want to use any other brushes with his formulas. I'm gonna use that same one because I really like the shape of it and the placement. And we're gonna go in with like Match Made over here because it's got that really great kind of ochre to it. And I think that that's gonna give us something really beautiful and tonal on here. See? And like actually enhance the shadow, but without clashing too hard with the yellow itself. Y'all, this is giving me everything right now. So I'm using Match and Made, so. I'm breaking my own heart. Tom has what do they call it, a highlight on their Instagram that's called Bye Makeup. Where it's like, you just loved a face of makeup that you put on so much that you just like need to say goodbye to it before you wash it off. You're like, bye makeup. It's a really good day for my makeup. Like, this is a really exciting good day for my makeup. I'm gonna go with something fluffier here. The E05. And I'm gonna use the same, I'm gonna use Match Made. And just blur the edges here. I do want to bring some rosiness in, but it needs to be subtle. So I do wonder if I can like pull this into like my lower lash line or something. I don't know why I want to use this so badly, but that's just where I'm at. And I think it's going to look more skin native. That does not pick up on a brush. That's really funny how much that doesn't pick up on a brush. So I'm going to go with my pinky like this. And go underneath my eyes a little. And then I'm gonna use it kind of out here too. Like, that has no business working, but it still does. The way that it kind of goes over the yellow. I do want to do like more underneath my eyes, but I still want to keep it in the same family. I don't want to go like, you know, pink or something. So I'm just gonna go back into Match Made and pull it down. Sexy, sexy, sexy. I hope I'm doing you proud right now, Hindash. Girl, stop it right now. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this bigger, fluffier one here, and we're just gonna go into something that's a little bit more like neutral and build a little bit of color right there so that, in fact, I might go into the coral a little bit and mix it with that because I want it to kind of look blushy, you know, and just kind of blend back out into my blush like that. Ooh, love that. Love it, love it, love it. I'm using the lightest altar to really blend it out because I don't want it to read like specifically like a pink patch of product, you know? But I want that kind of like, do you see the difference here? Of just like how this doesn't look like it necessarily quite marries and then this does. The difference is that little bit of heartthrob. I love it. Okay, I do think we're gonna pull in Divine Rose 3. This is kind of set enough that I think that I can work on top of it with some powder, and I know that's gonna be touch and go, but it's my face and I trust me. I believe in me. I've got lucky girl energy, and I think that we can do this. I think it's only going to make things better. Yes, there she is, my BK104. So, Pink Fantasy. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna do my eyeliner. I'm gonna use the, I think the Smoky Eye Baton from Surratt. I'm gonna do my brows and my mascara, and we will come back and we'll decide on a lip together. Oh, also, I wanna put a little bit of oyster in. Headband is like part of the Final Fantasy here. Everybody's like, put it back on. Yeah, I like kinked my hair all up. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of a setting mist here. I have to make sure it's Real Fix Plus here. Okay, I do want to do a little bit of spot concealing just because my discoloration is showing through a little bit where those little spots are healing. So I'm going to take a little bit of blender cover and just tap where it's distracting. There we go. Okay, a little bit here. Although I think powder would probably be better, but that's, and then these little guys. Ooh, I'm having trouble. I put so much blush on that, like, I don't know, I couldn't tell what was a blemish and what was blush. Okay, now we just need to choose a lip. And I was going to steer clear of this, but I kind of feel like this is the Fantasy, isn't it? They changed the doe foot on these, I think. They're smaller than they used to be. So this is the Sesame Tower 28 lip gloss. Actually, not mad at it. Because it's like, we're going for almost kind of a cosplay moment, right? It does need a little bit of powder though. I feel like we're so dewy that we can afford to do that. That's not Rattly Natalie. That's Rattly Natalie's imposter best friend. There she is. Yeah, and like how crazy is it that like I basically didn't end up putting any product like right here on my jawline, which can be great because like if you're wearing something where you've like popped the collar up or something, your makeup won't come off on your collar, at least not as much. I think that the one thing that like will finish this look is I have to do the like white waterline. That's just, it needs it. So I'm gonna use the VB waterline pencil here. Yeah. I'm so frustrated with my nose right now. Like I want, maybe just bronzer. Maybe it's just bronzer that I want. So we'll go back in with Naked Desire. Yeah, it just needs like, that's better. Some dimension filled back in. Most excellent. Okay, so the headband ended up staying because I am not Coco Chanel. I do not take accessories off before I leave the house, apparently. This is the vibe. Oh, wait, it's not the complete vibe yet. Hang on, I need my perfume. You gotta get it on the skin. It's important to get it on the skin. But I'm not like an 18 sprays of perfume person. Okay, I just loved letting this one flow. Let's talk about the specific products that I wanted to get the news to you urgently on because it's just important. This is fabulous. This is just fabulous, okay? The way that this Givenchy concealer actively participates in all of my plans. It aids and abets me, okay? This is my accomplice in crime. I love it. I love it. It does whatever I ask it to do. It's amazing. So this is just such an A+ across the board, especially for my dry skin people. The Papagraph bronzers, huge fan, huge fan. I just needed to like demystify the shades, and I will say, I'm still not sure whether I would have only bought one. Like I'm kind of pumped that I bought both. So if you're really, really pale and you're more of like the mauve shade in Thrive, I would go for Naked Desire. But if what you're looking for is that more like richened, a little bit deeper, maybe slightly more like of a true bronzery orange shade, then go for the Naked Honey. But I bought both and I'm not mad about it. And Divine Rose 3 is quite on the nose pink, but it works really beautifully like in concert with other things. So I'm not sure I recommend buying this, like, you know, it's not a run, do not walk situation. It's not flirtatious, you know? The Kosas sunscreen is a home run for me. Just don't be an idiot and like rub it directly in your eyeballs like I did. You know, it's that simple. And I would say that probably about any sunscreen. But the way that it has just like set off my makeup look, and it doesn't ever like hurt the wear time. I'm not sure if it helps the wear time either, but like just the radiance that it imparts that stays very present throughout your makeup look. I like it better than the glow screen, and I will continue wearing it. It's really, really nice. The Kulfi shadows, I know you didn't get to see much of this today because we went for like the 1960s fantasy, but this is really, really lovely. And you'll see also in my this or that video coming up, I talk about how lovely this is, and I compare it specifically to the brown shade in the Beauty Bento trio, the Orange Blossom one from Kaja, and Hourglass Ray, which are just like, that's wildly high compliment for this, you know? So I'm really excited to try more shades of it, but the answer is like, yes, I do recommend it. I think that they're beautiful and they wear a really, really long time. And then the only other thing being the mauve, I mean, we're really just reviewing the shade, right? Of the Tower 28. I think it knocks it out of the park. I just want y'all to be aware that like, it's pretty like still, it's like a muddier version of mauve. We're not talking about something that's just like really pure. So it still does go a little bit pink, you know, which makes it quite wearable. But if you're looking for something that is going to like almost counterbalance like an olive undertone or something, the new lilac one looks a lot more applicable to that. Much like, you know, the Kulfi purple or the About Face purple, you know? So this is just a more wearable kind of one and done shade. And then the lip color, like when it's together, I really feel like it's not too much. I'm not typically even like a lip color person, but I feel like it really evens out and looks awesome. It's kind of in my lips, but better, you know, lip gloss. So I've always loved these formulas. I think that they're just good. You know what I mean? They're just good formulas, but this color is, I think that it's gonna kind of grow on me in the sense of like, when I'm first using it, I'm like a little underwhelmed because I'm like, it doesn't feel super special, but I think it's special in its subtlety. The same way that you use something like Mimi, you know, where you're just like, I keep thinking of it because it's just so much easier than trying to like make that color on my skin with other things. And that is the Palm Springs 1960 Fantasy for today, y'all. I hope this was fun for you. This was really fun for me. I love when I get like a vision in my head and I actually get to execute it. And y'all got to watch me kind of do this for the first time. Typically I will practice a look, but again, this was an urgent review video. So I hope y'all liked this. If you did, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. I'm gonna go ahead and edit this and get it up for you today. I think it's important that I do that, and I will put another video up here that I think you're going to enjoy. My schedule's about to get weird because I'm going to Amsterdam. So we're gonna get these videos out, and then like next week there might not be as much because I'm going to be literally in Europe. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.